Hi everyone, my name is Martha. I am a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist, and you can find me at eroscoaching.com. So I've been in practice for 10 years and I have a few hundred videos on my YouTube channel. So this question came by email yesterday night, and I thought that I had made a video about it, but I hadn't, and so I decided to make a video to answer this question. So the question is, doctor, you can tell from the languaging that it's not in proper English, but the intent is there. And anyway, doctor, sometimes I feel sexually aroused after seeing a cleavage in movies or in public. Is that okay or not? Okay, so I get a lot of questions asking me for approval or permission. I really have no idea why. Um, I suppose that there's a lot of misconceptions and fear and shame around our sexuality. So it's almost as if by giving our power to someone who knows better, it's like, you know, is it okay or not? Is it okay or not? Seeking approval. You don't have to do that. Maybe there was a time when we were kids and we needed to ask people for permission, for approval. But now that we are grown up, you get to decide how you want to live your life and you get to decide whether something is okay or not. So please don't go around to so-called experts, give away your power and ask them okay or not, okay or not, okay or not. Nowadays, you can actually do research on any topic. So I understand this is a sex topic. Maybe it seems like it's very difficult to get an answer and you are seeking the opinion of a sex expert, whatever. But whether what I think about this issue really is not about me telling you okay or not. It's maybe it can be phrased in a different way, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is don't give away your power to people just because they are supposed experts. So having answered that part about is it okay or not, so I just want to say everything is permissible. Everything is permissible. Everything also can do. You can even kill someone. It's permissible. You can, but there are consequences. So everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. So when you watch a movie or cleavage in movie or in public, somebody who has a low cut dress or something, first of all, this is their body. They get to decide what they want to do, and they have to live with the stares and the opinions of people about them, the judgments that may be coming their way. But when it comes to you and how you feel about someone showing off their cleavage, you get to deal with it. You get to redirect your eyes. You get to control your thoughts. So when you look at something and you sexualize it, this is when you get turned on. So the thoughts triggers. So you see something, and then think of something, and then get aroused. So actually, what causes you to get aroused is not the cleavage. It's not. It is actually the way you think about the cleavage. So the way you think about cleavage is, this is a woman. I can possibly fuck her. This person is very fuckable. This person is asking for it. This person is very sexy. You have interpreted something that you saw into something that is sexual. So you got to think about it in this way, and then you got aroused. So now the question becomes, oh, so this cleavage causes me to get aroused, and so what should I is it okay or not? Is it okay for me to get aroused or not? You get to control your thoughts. You get to redirect your thoughts. As much as this is very much in public and you get triggered, so what? The thought creates a reaction, causes arousal, but you also get to control your action. You don't, and we don't, see a cleavage, get excited, and go and grab their breast, do we? We're going to get into trouble. We're going to be accused of assault and molestation and violation, and possibly get into trouble with the law. And so we know better than to do that, than to do something. So you think of it, It causes a physical arousal in your body, but you get the control whether you get to attack them. So your mind is actually much more powerful than you realize. And as much as you talk about cleavage, but actually you can actually also sexualize anything. Our mind is so powerful that we can sexualize anything. So how is it that some people, when they look at a shoe and then they get turned on, how does shoe cause someone to get aroused? Because the way they think of the shoe, oh, shoe is worn by a sexy woman and this is linked to her sexy leg, and then this woman is very sexy and fuckable, blah blah blah. Only sexy women wear sexy shoes. So the object actually causes you to think in a certain way, and over time the loop between the way you think and the way your body reacts starts to become faster and faster, so much so that you even think shoe and immediately get aroused. So it becomes more like a loop between the way you think and the way you feel, and then the way you start to behave. So like for instance, I look at shoe and then I start masturbating to shoe. So what ends up happening is there's almost this unconsciousness around how the way you think always affects the way you feel, which affects the way you act. So you have a choice. This is your life. You can redirect your thoughts. So when we talk about controlling your mind, it's not easy, just like in meditation, to shut down your mind and say, now I'm meditating, no thinking. The thoughts come, and then you say, okay, thank you, thoughts, and then the thought goes. If you hold on to that thought, then that thought gets a hold on you, and then it starts to create the physical response that we are talking about, the arousal. So anything can be sexualized. For instance, somebody's lips or red lipsticks is sexy, and then you get turned on. Somebody wearing tight skirts, some wearing shoe, some body wearing a leather, somebody who fetishizes feet. So there are all these possibilities of sexualization. You happen to be talking about cleavage. I'm expanding the dialogue to say that anything can, whether it's a body part or a thing, can be, depending on the way you think about it, become something that is sexualized, which in turn becomes something that you become aroused to. So then you blame the object, you blame the person and say women shouldn't wear these things. But then what about learning how to control your thoughts? So when you ask me, you feel sexually aroused when you watch, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the cleavage, or are you focusing on the internal sensation and the imagination, the linkage with see cleavage, woman sexy, fuckable, get horny? So there is this other things that you have continued from the seeing to the thinking and the interpretation of it. That actually is what causes the arousal. So like I say, you can actually redirect your thoughts. We get to control our mind. And it's not that, oh, you blame everything, you blame the world, you blame other people. So when it comes to other areas of our lives, say for instance, you go to a supermarket or you go to a shopping center and you see beautiful things, and you know that you need to pay money to get that object, fruits, vegetables, or beautiful dress or clothes. You know that, and if you take it without permission, that's called stealing. So if you grab someone in public, that's called molestation. You get into trouble with the law. So if we know that our rational mind is able to control our behavior, we can also control our thoughts. We can redirect our thoughts. So if this is not something that is what you would like to do, you don't want to become sexually aroused, then what you can do is redirect your thoughts. And it's not so difficult to redirect our thoughts, because we do redirect our thoughts all the time. So for instance, when we're feeling lousy, we tell ourselves, focus on something else. Instead of focusing on not having enough money, maybe focusing on what we can do with the money that we have. So we do learn how to control our thoughts, which in turn affects the way we feel, which in turn affects the way we act. So we, as adults, learn how to reframe all the time. So how is it that we don't know? For some reason, when it comes to sex, we just don't know how to control, how to redirect our thoughts. in any way at all. So if you are not feeling good when you are sexually aroused looking at a cleavage in the movies, then don't. Just because you feel, it doesn't mean that it's something bad. Don't let your sexuality turn into something that is evil and shameful. The fact that you get sexually aroused shows that your body is doing exactly what your body is meant to do. However, if you do not want to get sexually aroused, then this is when, as I mentioned, you can redirect your thoughts. You're much more powerful than you think you are. And the way you have in turn sexualized boobs or anything or person is something that is actually in your control. So a lot of people think they have no control over, like, looking at me, like for instance a video of a sexologist who happens to be a woman, and say, yeah, she looks fuckable or she doesn't look fuckable. First of all, it is inappropriate. I am giving advice as a professional, and then I turn into a sex object. So any woman can be turned into a sex object. You know how offensive and scary that is for me? So there are clients who are able to understand the difference between going to somebody who is a professional and going to somebody who is coming as in their personal capacity as a woman. So say if I'm a woman on the street, then the way you interact with this woman on the street would be, yeah, this is a sex object, this is a possible person that I could possibly talk to and have an interaction with and possibly have a relationship. But when you meet with me in a professional capacity of me as a sexologist, then it needs to be tune your head in a different way. So if we can control our thoughts, that we behave in certain ways in certain situations, so say we don't behave in certain ways at work, but we give ourselves permission to behave certain ways in our personal lives, why is it that we think that we cannot control, manage our thoughts? So I don't want you to think that there's something wrong with you by being sexually aroused. Your body is doing exactly what your body is supposed to do. However, you get the control whether you continue getting sexually aroused, whether you act on it in that way. Say for instance, like something that can be very offensive, like masturbating in public, can cause you to get into trouble with the law. So whether it is okay or not, the okay, like, I don't even know how to answer this okay or not. Like, this is your life. You get to decide, does this feel good to you? Do you want to learn how to redirect your thoughts? Do you want to see this as my body and my mind is just appreciating something that is beautiful, and so be it, and then redirect? That's it. If you want to have healthy masculinity and healthy sexuality, knowing that your sexuality is there and that it's for you to decide what you want to do about it. So doing something about it, or doing nothing, or redirecting your thoughts, is something that is within your capacity to learn how to manage. So people think that they cannot, but actually you can. we often do things that we don't want to do all the time, like wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning to go to work. We do have more power and control and influence in our lives than we think. And by giving away your power to experts and say, is this okay or not? First of all, please don't ask me, is this okay or not? This is your life, but you want a different perspective. Now I'm telling you that you have, the crux of it is, you have, in your mind, you have actually sexualized the cleavage. You have sexualized the cleavage, and that you think that the physical arousal is what is the problem. It is actually the way you think about it, as I mentioned in this video. So yeah, so let me know if you have any other questions based on what I have just shared. This is Martha of Eros Coaching. That's eroscoaching.com, and I am available for private sessions. And a lot of people just email me, and actually they do not even search for the hundreds of videos that I have produced. This is free content, so please take some initiative and do a search, because the content out there is free. However, my time is actually for hire. So if you want private and confidential and individualized and personalized training and coaching that is individualized to your specific needs, then it cannot be just like thinking of me as a 24/7 helpline. That's not what I do. I do answer questions. I do try to help as many people I can. I put out a lot of videos, but actually my time is for hire. So like people just emailing me all hours of the day and basically just thinking that I'm an agony of some sort. My time is for hire. So do check out my website. And if you have some question that you really feel you are puzzled about, just drop me an email and then I'll redirect you or direct you to what I feel will best help you. So this is Martha of Eros Coaching. Check out my website and also my YouTube channel. Thank you.